Alright. Oh yeah, we were at the camp. He has had trauma. That's not too bad. We don't use him too much on the magic side of things. I don't remember what the hell we were doing here. The priest performed a ritual and now the way through the forest is clear. Caligos Winterscale has proposed to finish the hunt before returning to the ship. Okay, so it's...
Know your duty.
Speak with gods helps you. Welcomes you. Helps. Starborn. His violet eyes are reverently trained on you. How can Speaks with Gods help you this time? Tell me about yourself, old man. Speak with Gods is the name of this humble servant of the forest, rivers and mountains. For when the two-headed eagle god speaks, this servant listens and recounts the words of his tribe, and the tribe carries out his will. The old man closes his eyes and his body sways to the rustling of leaves and the babbling of the stream. This servant of dreams, nightmares, and reveries can see things that others cannot see. What has transpired and what is yet to be. Your appearance in the heart of the forest and... The priest falters for a moment. The consequences it bears for Quenza Temer. And what consequences of my coming to this world did you see in your visions? The Sky Herald stands at the crossroads. I see all of his choices and see none of them. But this servant knows one thing clearly. The Starborn must go to the Deadlands to destroy the one who should have been long dead. Suddenly the old man throws his head back, his body shudders, and a droplet of blood bursts between his clenched teeth. The sunset rays will paint the heart of the forest crimson in the darkest leaves, and the two stars will part, then meet again, crimson, crimson. The fading light can still be saved. The priest covers his face with his hand and breathes slowly, finally coming to his senses. Forgive this servant, Sky Herald. The waking dreams are often the most painful. Tell me about your tribe. We are the children of the fiery mother and the pale father, who look after us by day and guard us by night. The faithful servant of the two-headed eagle god, who shields our lands from misfortune with his wings. We are the ungone forest-dwelling children of the earth and the guardians of the temple of Quenza Temer, the first starborn to ever set foot on the virgin soil of this land. Either my memory is as empty as an Amasek decanter after a party, or I've heard this before. Huh? Leads ahead is the half-sister of this servant of smoke, fire and ash. She was the first to emerge from the mother's womb and thus named the next ruler of the tribe. And this servant was the shield to fend off disaster from this ruler. Many years later, when the gift of the eagle god awakened inside this servant, leads ahead, named her brother the priest of her tribe. Your way of speaking is strange, just like your sister's. The old man looks down embarrassed. Forgive the servants of Quensatemer for their speech, O Starborn. No matter how much the ancestors tried to pass the language of the gods on to their descendants, the tribe seldom use it, for the gods only descend from their heavenly palace not more often than once in 3 life dwellings. Life dwells? Yeah, life dwells. I have another question. This servant knew that you would say that. Did the ritual truly make the forest safe? The priest nods affirmatively. Affirmatively. The spirits from the darkness brought the fire rain down on Quensatemer, killing many of the tribes who had cared for the forest young and ancient. This blasphemy enraged the guardian spirits, but as soon as this servant of the wind, rain and sand soothed them with the ritual sacrifices and the divine sorcery, their wrath gave way to mercy. Did you not foresee this in your visions? The dreams come and go, Sky Herald of the faraway stars. Sometimes the servants of the gods can understand the mystical visions of the days of old or the future. But even speak with gods cannot fully comprehend the divine design of the two-headed eagle god. Sometimes I am blind even when I can see. Do you know what sorcery such as yours is punishable by death in the Imperium? No. You are a good man. Pray that the forest does not cause any more trouble. I pray for this with every breath, O Starborn. Tell me, how did you and Winterscale survive all this time? The Starborn who carries the seal of Quensatemer's descendant is strong in body and will, as befits a god. This servant, like the rest of his entourage, had grown weak on just the 7th night of our journey, but the Starborn continued to lead us fearlessly, pressing forward to seek out the spirit from the darkness, even among the twisted paths, delivering the sky's judgment. This servant of the grass, flower and trees regret only the imminent death of the Starborn's companion, the one you called the Seneschal. He quarreled with the ironclad guardian, and his words enraged the Starborn, and thus he slashed the unfortunate man's body up with his axe and threw the remains to the wild animals of Quensatemer for them to feast on. Okay, so he killed his own companion. Okay. Do you mean to say that the Winterscale killed his Seneschal? This servant saw everything with his own 2 eyes. The old man pauses in hesitation, then continues. It is not proper, perhaps, for a mere speck of dirt to under the heels of a sky herald of the two-headed eagle god to muse upon the deed. However, this servant did sense with his entire being the rage that possessed the Starborn at that moment, and The ironclad guardian reveled in his god's wrath. Ironclad guardian? I suppose you mean Caligos Winterscale's arch-militant? Wharton the Grey seemed dangerous to me even on our first meeting. But our time together spent wandering through the forest cemented this notion. I must take my leave. May the two-headed eagle god shelter you under his wing, O Sky Herald. Okay, so that's got a little bit of a backstory there at least. So he Wharton the Grey. The master gave orders to be prepared. We're moving out soon. Wharton is prepared. Killing Xenos is what Wharton loves to do. Okay, Wharton. House Cassini greets you.
The divine watches over us.
The mercenary already has a master. Yes. Tech priest. Can we sleep somewhere here maybe? Get the negative effects off. That would be cool.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Doesn't look like it. Caligos Winterscale leads ahead. You hear the elder whisper some sort of prayer as you approach. Shelter your herd under your wing from the spirits of the darkness. O eagle god, dispel the darkness and show us the way on our arduous path, and bless your starborn scions. Leave. Okay, so
we shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Let's see what Caligos has to say. A nice walk that, wasn't it, Svinto? You may have helped us navigate the forest's clutches, but don't let it go to your head. I would have managed by myself sooner or later. Winterscale chuckles and repeats, sooner or later. Okay, so us showing up didn't help, you say? Well. I have some questions to ask of you. One day, you two will grow sick of all the talking, and then you will choose shooting Xenos on a wild planet over endless intrigue. Cheerful notes ring in Caligos' voice. Fine, you have plenty of time, so be it. I will give you a private audience. If you dare, Shorda knew how to close-knit we had become. If dear Shorda knew how close-knit we had become, she would have surely branded us conspirators. I guess we conspire if we speak. That's weird. Let us discuss the Eldari problem. You care about them that much, New Blood, Caligos bellows in disdain. Go ahead then. Try to convince me that the vile Xenos scum deserve the mercy of the Caligos Winterscale. But remember, you only get one chance to try. Their craft world perished at the hands of my dynasty. I wish to make amends for Theodora's mistake. That's one choice. Erbrecht Abdef made a promise. Erbrecht Abdef made a promise that your dynasty would fulfill any request for me if I were to lead you out of the forest of Quensatemmer. That seems like the most obvious choice. Let's see what this is. We can't do comments. Won't succeed in selling. Fellowship is interesting. The winter scale I've heard of would never have thrown down his protectorate to Shorda so easily. Persuasion is, if you were to agree, you would have a rogue trader and the head of a powerful dynasty in your debt. Let's do the promise. Made a promise that your dynasty would fulfill any request for me, and if I were to lead you out of the forest of Quensatemmer. Winterscale's expression hardens. Consider my idiot void-born nephew dead. Besides, you haven't led me out of the forest yet. You've only brought us into its heart. I still have time to kill all your precious Xenos before I become formally indebted to you. Don't think that you can outsmart me at such games, new blood. You've been a rogue trader for barely any time at all compared to an old hand like me. Caligos scoffs acidly. If that was your argument for Xenos, alas, you have miscalculated, Svinto, and I do not wish to discuss this any further. Erliat presses her lips into a line. Alas, Elentak, you cannot control the thoughts of this monkey, just as you cannot control a river flow backward. Words cannot always move the mountains and dry the seas. Sometimes only blades can. The arch-militant, previously indifferent to his master's words, raises his head. His burning, curious gaze fixes on Irliat. Okay. I saw the corpse of your seneschal at the forest camp. The old man was a weakling, and that is why he's dead. That's what happens when you can no longer fulfill your duty to your master. Wharton grins in contempt. His entire being expresses his disdain for the seneschal. Awareness test succeed. Caligos carries himself with an air of indifference, but the sudden furrows of his forehead betray his regret. Many fine warriors have perished on this hunt. Raise a toast to their name when you can. Have you heard? I hear you have decided to oppose both the Lord Inquisitor and Chorda's dynasty. A void kraken may eat them both, for all I care. Winterscale makes a wry face and wrenches his fist in anger, acting as if their war on heresy in the expanse is just starting. Ha! I've been living in it for decades. And I don't need an inquisitorial preacher, and I certainly don't need incendious goodwill. Tell me about Quensatemmer. Your inquiries are curious, to be sure. Quensatemmer is a planet with rather dreary backstory. A long time ago it supplied my great-grandfather with tons of succulent fruits and thousands of cargo containers filled with special building fiber processed from the local forests. The population all lived in large cities, a safe distance away from the tangled paths of trees, and then this quiet life was dashed by Xenos raids. They burned down the cities and shackled our people faster than our ships could help. In the end, the local governor ran away, leaving the remaining people at the beast's mercies. And the people in turn fled the big cities that attracted the Xenos. And that is how the forest that the rabble feared became their salvation. The planet fell into decay. There was no one to populate the cities, and there was no one to extract resources. Quensa Temmer expected 3 new arcs filled with settlers to arrive from the Imperium, but in 500 years, not one of them has reached the expanse. Okay, so 3 lost ships. That's just... So they got stuck in the warp or something? Do not turn your gaze to me, Alan Tuck. It was not my kin who desolated this world. How did you survive in the forest all this time? The forests of Quensa Temmer are unlike the jungles of Katachan. New blood. The only thing that could kill you here is your own stupidity. Of an unfortunate coincidence, in the form of a stray Xenos or a rare predator, rainwater for breakfast, nutritious larvae for lunch, and fermented fruit in place of wine for supper, one could not wish for better hunting grounds. Caligos laughs, then falls silent, evidently unwilling to share the details. Huh? I've noticed that your people look utterly woebegone while you do not have a single scratch on you. That means that my people are weaklings, and I shall change that soon. As for me, I have been of stout constitution since the day I was born. At first, Caligos shrugs his shoulders indifferently, but after looking closer at his companion, he raises his brow in surprise, and it seems that the rogue trader just realized the validity of your words. He hasn't even realized how bruised they were. I just need a little more time. Winterscale's gaze dulls. The thrill of the hunt is an unfamiliar concept to you, I see. Okay, so I'm thinking we are gonna try to sneak out of camp because he is unwilling to. He seems to be unwilling to get the hell out of here.
Step, I forge my destiny among the
without
stars.
killing the Eldar. Scene of the slaughter. Okay, let's see here. I think I need pen and paper for this. Okay, let's see. So we had camp, and now we had 2 directions. Let's go up. Yeah. The end of the road. Okay, so we're back here. So, what the hell happened? Now we're here. We're still running in a circle. I do not get this. Yeah, this makes 0 sense.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
I've tried all the paths now, so Doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe we need to go back to camp and talk to him. Are you finished with all your high society errands in the Grok's pen, Svinto? The forest has calmed down, but now I'm starting to lose my patience. It is time to go seeking Eldari. It's about time, indeed, Svinto. Kalagos gives you a friendly pat on the shoulder and summons his retinue with a gesture. It may take a while to find their trail, but Wartan here has a keen eye, and his sense of smell can rival any dog. We will do just fine, especially with the forest being on our side now. Let's get going and try not to fall behind. Outcast
Know
duty.
your duty.
So we got straight to the point here, looks like. Yeah, we don't have our demolition detail with us. Eldari Guardian. Nocturnal Oblivion. So Eldari is over here. I wonder if we'll spark a fight if we go there. Let's see what we have. Goods.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Curb Kalagos Svinskill's temper. A stately Eldari warrior steps forward, calmly looking at the intruders. His armor and its adornments gleam in the sun, despite of the traces of dried mud and caked on blood. The Farseers instructed me to send you away, monkey. The smooth voice of the Xenos sounds out of place in the rough wilderness of Quensa Temer. However, I recently stopped, meekly heading their council, and besides, my sister is among you. I'm curious to hear the outcast's tidings. Nocturnal Oblivion. Vain rhetoric, a masterful display. Your temper, bother mine, you ought to quell. Bravado has no place within this play. Indeed, the merchant proved this all too well. This actor excelled, who did alight upon the stage. Now will this piece complete. Upon this stage, now will this piece complete. By choosing a finale opposite. Who shall survive and who their doom shall meet? Nocturnal Oblivion, mournful horned mask, avidly tracks your face. I do not know about you, Svinto, but these Xenos bastards are giving me the creeps. Kalagos shifts his excited gaze from the Eldari warrior to the solitaire and back. This one, in the motley, I want to kill him now. Wartan the Grey bare his teeth in anticipation and clutches the hilt of his sword. Dogmatic is attack. Look around the Eldari camp. The Xenos have made their camp among the ruins of an ancient city of the Imperium. Only the alien growths of the Cenotech and the wreckage of the Aldari ship disturbs the picture of centuries-old devastation and rebirth.